Welcome to Indie Beacon Radio, where creative souls can find help in marketing their creations. You can send questions for each show on Twitter using the hashtag IndieBeacon. Now sit back and enjoy learning about our guest for this show. Texas Authors is proud to be a supporter of IndieBeacon.com, a website that supports indie authors from around the world. If you are looking for help with marketing or getting published, IndieBeacon.com can assist you. Years of experience by the founder is available to any indie author looking for help. IndieBeacon.com, a place for creative souls to find help in marketing their creations. Well, hello there, my friends. My name is Randy James, independent voiceover producer in the Dallas, Texas area, available to write and record a 30-second commercial, much like the one you're hearing right now. It's a great way to help increase awareness and exposure to your book title. It's easy to do. Simply call me and we'll brainstorm on a few ideas, and in a few hours, I'll whip something up and send you a digital file ready to use. Remember, call or text me, Randy James, at 214-762-1942.
Attention all ebook authors. Are you looking for the perfect place to sell your ebooks? Look no further than ebg247.com. Get your ebooks listed on our front page with a real-time royalty tracking dashboard and receive 80% of all your sales. That's ebg247.com. Why go anyplace else? No matter what your book genre or its cost, we make it the perfect place to sell your stories. That's ebg247.com. It's the web's best place to sell all your ebooks.
Welcome to Indie Beacon Radio, where creative souls can find help in marketing their creations. You can send questions for each show on Twitter using the hashtag IndieBeacon. Now sit back and enjoy learning about our guest for this show.
Alrighty, this is b-alan-bourgeois. We are back with Indie Beacon Radio, and I am talking to kathey-meis. And she is with Bublish, who is a creative aspect for authors, especially for indie authors, on how to better market and especially learn how to market themselves, but also distribution. And we were talking briefly about marketing. You were at Authors Marketing event last year and giving some classes. How did that go for you?
It was great. I just love. It was my first time to Texas, actually, too, and I just loved the people I met. I loved the energy. I think you did a great job with the curriculum. Was I really think cutting edge, and that is something too often. You go and there's first of all there's a focus on marketing, which I love because that's the biggest pain point. But in a really holistic fashion, like from the fact that, positioning the manuscript, things that start very early in the process. And, I would encourage anyone who's thinking about writing a book to go to the marketing event that you host, because the earlier they learn that aspect, the more successful they will be. So don't think that marketing comes after you launch. But the event was... I really loved a lot of the people. I learned a lot when I got to sit, in the audience. That was great. And then you have the great awards ceremony. That was fabulous. And just high energy, great information, and really packed it in. I think people's minds were spinning.
They were. And thankfully, we recorded most of the events so that people could go back and learn from them. Now, one of the people that was at the event, Grace, she has signed up with you, and she just rants and raves about Bublish. Do you consider her to be one of those success stories?
Yeah. Well, she's a good example of someone who... So it's a social marketing tool that we provide to you. So she's somebody who uses it every week. And when you consistently do that, she sees the results. I mean, I think she's had 90,000 views on Einstein's Compass, and it hasn't even launched yet. So a lot of engagement. And then on her other book, also, a lot of building of awareness through her book bubbles that she shares. But she's a person, that totally commits to the fact that as an author who is self-published, marketing is your job as well. And that's not always a comfortable place for indie authors. They want to be creatives. And when you go the indie path, you're really saying, I'm my own publisher, so you have to put on that business hat. So she's someone who uses probably all the tools at her disposal to their utmost. But it is really fun to go to a conference where Grace is, because She is like a walking billboard, and I always have to say, I'm not paying her. And she is going to be distributing Einstein's Compass with us, which is quite exciting to be able to help her in a more holistic fashion, like I said. So, yeah, it's great.
Now, earlier you had mentioned press release and the PR aspect. We have seen a lot of authors just don't know how to do PRs. So in this year's Authors Marketing, we're having a class about how to write a PR, what people are looking for, especially if they're trying to get into interviews and things of that nature. What little tidbit do you want to offer for that?
Well, so with publicity and PR, you're talking more about copywriting. So it's a very different type of writing. I think every author should study copywriting for their marketing, and they should study what goes into a great press kit. Their press kit should be ready, 3 months in advance of launch. They need to understand that in order to really get publicity and PR going, you need to start well in advance just because of the news cycles, and you've got to understand how... I used to be the person who received the pitches when I was at Forbes, so, they're busy people. They have a context, an audience they're writing for, subjects they're writing about, so you have to put yourself in their brain. But studying copywriting and studying your audience for PR and publicity, and then just being organized. It is a numbers game. And, we always tell people just set up a huge spreadsheet, and, while you're writing your book, whenever you come across a blogger or an influencer or somebody in the media who might be of interest, throw that name in there, where are they from, if you can get contact information and start to build that list, and then follow up. 90% of it is the follow-up, not just the first contact. And it does take a little bit of a dogged commitment, but I would say great copywriting, organization, and dogged commitment. So on top of writing and launching your book. But, things like just having a galley ready. For example, again, here we are at the American Library Association. Well, if you want to get noticed by librarians, again, you have to be reviewed by specific publications that they go to and have gone to for decades. So you can try to reach them another way, but if you want to for sure reach them, you need to be in those publications. And some of those publications still require you to send a print galley of your book 4 to 6 months in advance of launch, or they will not look at it. So just understanding, again, what channels are important for you, library, bookstores, online, what channels do you want to be in, why, and understanding those audiences and then how to reach them. So getting those reviews will help you also get PR and publicity.
Now, I'm sure you have run into this as much as I have, and so many authors, when they want to become self-published, they really are not sure what to do, so they end up reinventing the wheel. How can we get the word out that, hey, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, because there are services that are inexpensive available to help you through that process?
So I think it's just when you start this journey and you decide, I'm going to self-publish, I'm going to be an independent publisher, that you need to carve out time to put on your business hat and really study the marketplace. And the key is, even from the words, when someone tells me my book is not like any other book on the planet, I start to shake inside because I feel very nervous for them. Because every story is different and unique, but quite honestly, you have to position your book. If you pitched a great story to one of the big houses, they may say, oh, it's a great story, but we can't take it on. Why? Because they don't know how to handle the positioning of that book for the audience that they know how to market to. And so if you're saying, oh, it's so different, there's not a comparable title in the universe for my book, you're in trouble, because you need comparable titles. You need to be able to say, here's a virtual bookshelf of books that are like mine, either same genre or same time period or same context thematically, and make those lists. That's like things like your Amazon ads are run off of comparable titles. So you need to know whose bookshelf you want to be on and how your book is different on that bookshelf, but never say that your book is like no other, because you're in trouble then, because you're kind of in outer space, and all the people who are going to buy your book are on Earth.
Well, that's not meant to discourage, but
No,
if anything, to help people
it
understand
isn't.
that it is the marketing of learning the keywords, the metadata, that's all part of that, and knowing who your comparable book titles are.
Yeah.
I mean, you really do need to understand that. And that also goes into the cover design as well, making sure that you fit within that market. Because if you're in left field, that market's not going to be interested in you.
You got 7 seconds on that product page. And the other thing that I think you have to realize that positioning starts by meeting reader expectations in your manuscript. So do you know, like as a thriller, what's the expectation? A lot of times, like if a book that we see, we're running an ad and it's got all the pieces in place, it's got the right bio, everything, and the look inside doesn't meet reader expectations right away, we'll have the author pull something that's more like high energy, high paced, to meet that expectation in that moment when they look inside, and we'll just place it as a preview in the front of the book. Because again, if you've written something and you're saying it's suspense or it's sci-fi fantasy, and you haven't read or you don't know a lot of the books that are popular now and what they look like and what they feel like, and it's not to say you should write in a formulaic way, but that you should position your book to delight a specific reader. People get upset when I say books are information or entertainment products, but they are. And you have to always position those products for a particular audience. Your book can't be for everybody. And the more specifically and more in depth you know that reader and what delights them, the more you're going to set yourself up for success. Because you create that little tribe of rabid followers and things will grow from there.
Well, I think that will cover everything. I thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, it was great. Thanks for having me, Alan. And good luck with the event.
Thank you for listening to Indie Beacon Radio, where creative souls can find help in marketing their creations. To learn more about Indie Beacon services, to be a guest on the show, or to advertise on our show, please visit our website at indiebeacon.com.